So in the last class, we discussed what is a transfer function. Transfer function is defined as the ratio of Laplace transform of the output to the Laplace transform of the input when all initial conditions are 0. That's an alternate definition to a transfer function. What is that? It is the Laplace transform of the impulse response of the system. Again, when all initial conditions are 0. So transfer function is defined only for 0 initial condition problems. Now, what do you mean by impulse response? Response means output as a function of time t. So in control system, we'll be frequently navigating between the time domain and the S domain. Okay. So response means output as a function of time t. And impulse response means what is the output as a function of time t when the input is an impulse signal. Okay. So the Laplace transform of the impulse response will give you the transfer function provided all the initial conditions are 0. So today we are going to derive some transfer functions for some electrical and mechanical systems. Okay. So electrical and mechanical systems, right? So we know that there are basically 3 electrical network elements. They are resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Right? Now, in an inductance or in a resistance, what's the voltage? Voltage is nothing but R into I of t. Okay, these are all functions of t, right? So what will be V of s by I of s? That will be nothing but resistance R. Okay, so that is the impedance offered by a resistance that is shown here. That is shown here. Okay. Now, for an inductance, what will be the voltage current relationship? V of t equals L into di by dt. Or when you take the Laplace transform, assuming 0 initial conditions, what will you get? V of s divided by I of s will be what? S into L. And that is what is shown here. Similarly, for a capacitance, VC is equal to what? 1 by C integral I dt, right? Or if you take the Laplace transform and the ratio, you will get VC of s by I of s as what? 1 divided by C into S. And that is what is given here. Okay, so these are the impedances, okay, in Laplace domain, right? 1 by Cs for the capacitance, R for a resistance, and Ls for an inductance. Let us take up 1 or 2 problems now. Find the transfer function relating the capacitor voltage Vc of s to the input voltage V of s. So here we are given with a series RLC circuit. We have a resistance, inductance, and a capacitance, right? So V of t is the applied voltage, and we are asked to find what is the transfer function that relates the voltage across capacitance to the input voltage V of t. Okay. So it's a closed path. That means that a current starts flowing, and that current is I of t. Okay. Now, how will you solve this? We have to apply what is called Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL. Okay. Now, when you apply KVL, what will you get? V of t equals L di by dt plus R into I of t plus 1 by C integral I dt. Okay. V of t equals, so you see, what is Kirchhoff's voltage law? Algebraic sum of EMFs in a closed path must be 0, or sum of potential rises must be equal to sum of potential drops in a closed path. Okay. So for this assumed current direction minus to plus potential rise. So that is the only potential rise in this closed circuit. Okay. So V of t must be equal to what? Sum of potential drops. So drop across inductance L is L di by dt. Drop across R is R into I of t, and drop across capacitance C is nothing but 1 by C integral I dt. Okay. Let's take Laplace transform. What do you get? V of s is equal to SL plus R plus 1 by Cs into I of s. Okay, into I of s. Fine. So now, what will be the voltage across the capacitance C? What is Vc of t? Vc of t is nothing but we know 1 by C integral I dt. 1 by C integral I dt. Take the Laplace transform. What will you get? Vc of s equals I of s by s. what is our aim? Our aim is to find a relationship between VC of S and the input voltage V of S. Okay, so that means the intermediate variable I of S has to be eliminated. So from here, what is I of S? I of S will be SC into VC of S. Okay, SC into VC of S, right? So that means what? It means what? We can replace, substitute I of S from here into this equation. Okay, let me call this as 1 and this as 2. Okay, 2 in 1. What will you get? 2 in 1. We will get V of S is equal to, so let me take the LCM here. We will get S square LC plus SRC plus 1 whole divided by SC into I of S. Instead of I of S, I will substitute this thing. SC into VC of S. SC and SC gets cancelled. Okay, so means what? VC of S by V of S will be what? VC of S by V of S will be 1 divided by S square LC plus SRC plus 1. So if you take LC common, what will you get? You can make the denominator polynomial a monic one. What do you mean by monic polynomial? Monic polynomial means the polynomial in which the highest power of the variable has coefficient 1, unity coefficient. Okay, so to make that, I can take LC outside. So it becomes 1 by LC. Okay, so 1 by LC whole divided by S square plus S R by L plus 1 by LC. So this will be the voltage, output voltage to input voltage ratio or transfer function. Okay, that is what is shown here. 1 by LC divided by S square plus R by L into S plus 1 by LC. Okay, so what's the significance of this transfer function? Now we can forget this physical RLC circuit. Okay, now since we have the mathematical model, since we have a transfer function, what we can do all kinds of analysis or simulation using the mathematical model. We don't need any R, L or C. Okay, once we know the values of R, L and C, then this transfer function is a sufficiently good model to analyze the behavior of the physical circuit, physical RC circuit. Okay, the significance of this transfer function. Now coming down, find the transfer function. Let us try one more problem. Find the transfer function I2 of S by V of S. Okay, so here what happens? So here there are two loops or two meshes. Okay, V of T is the operator voltage. We are asked to find the transfer function between I2 of S and V of S. So how to solve this? Again, we can follow the mesh method. Okay, there are two loops here. There are two loops here. Fine. Now we can state it. If we apply KVL, we know that there will be two voltage equations. So let us try the voltage equation for the two loops. This is loop 1. So again, for this assumed current direction, -2 plus potential rise. So V of T is equal to what? Sum of potential drops. What is the drop in R1? R1 into I1 of T. R1 into I1 of T plus what will be the drop in L? See, I1 is from top to bottom and I2 is from bottom to top. That means the currents are in opposite directions. Okay, so the net current flowing through L will be I1 minus I2. So I can write plus L into di by plus L into d by dt of I1 minus I2. Okay, L into d by dt of I1 minus I2. D by dt of I1 minus I2. Right? So L into d by dt of I1 minus I2. Now coming to the second circuit, what will you get? There is no operator voltage source, so 0. 0 equals what will be the drop in inductance L? L into d by dt of I2 minus I1. Okay, L into d by dt of I2 minus I1 plus drop in R2 will be R2 into I2 of T plus drop across capacitance will be 1 by C integral I2 dt. Okay. Now we can club like terms together. That means you can group I1 terms together and I2 terms together. Okay. So what do you get? It means that. What do you mean by that? It means that. So this can be rearranged. Okay. So it means that V of t equals R1 I1 plus L di1 by dt. Okay, I have grouped I1 terms together plus then I2 terms. I2 term is minus L into di2 by dt. Okay, from equation 1, we can rearrange that. Okay, so equation 1 will lead to this thing. Then from equation 2, what will you get? 0 equals minus L di1 by dt plus L di2 by dt plus R2 I2 of t. Okay, so I have clubbed I1 terms together, I2 terms together, right? Now let us take the Laplace transform. So what will you get? If you take the Laplace transform, you will get V of S is equal to R1 plus SL1, okay, from the first equation. Then here you will get minus SL1, right? This is into I1 of S, right? Then from equation 1, we will get a matrix of this kind. From equation 2, what will you get? 0 equals what? Minus SL, right? Plus, then what will be the 2 position? It will be R2 plus SL, okay, into I2 of S. So straight away, no need to write all these things. In one go, we can write all these equations, okay, in matrix form. How to do that? So you see, there are two loops here. Two loops here, right? Which are they? Loop 1 and loop 2. Okay. So basically, this is voltage equal to impedance into current kind of thing. Okay. So let us write straight away this matrix. So on the left hand side, we have the voltage sources. You see, for this assumed current direction minus 2 plus potential rise, it is V of t. So the Laplace transform will be capital V of S. There are no voltage source in the second loop. That means 0. Okay. So voltage must be equal to impedance. So since there are two loops, the impedance matrix will be of the order 2 by 2. Okay. Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22. Now what is Z11? Sum of all impedances which are common to loop current I1. Which are they? R1 plus SL. Okay. I will now straight away speak in terms of the Laplace domain. Okay. So Z11 means sum of all impedances through which I1 is flowing. I1 is flowing through R1 plus SL. So straight away I can put R1 plus SL. Right. Now what about Z12, the 1, 2 position? Those impedances which are common to 1 and 2. Here, which is the impedance common to 1 and 2? It is the inductance. What is the inductive impedance? S into L, SL. Okay. Now I1 is from top to bottom, I2 is in the opposite direction. So minus SL. Okay. Suppose you have taken your current direction like this. Okay. Then both currents through the inductance are in the same direction. Then it would have been plus SL. Okay. But since this is the chosen current direction, it is the currents I1 and I2 are in opposite direction, because of which the 1-2 element will be always negative. And in a network, 1, 2 and 2, 1 will be always the same. So straight away we can put minus SL. Okay. What will be the 2, 2? Sum of all impedances through which I2 is flowing. SL plus R2 plus 1 by CS. SL plus R2 plus 1 by CS. Okay. So this is the impedance matrix. Okay, this is the impedance matrix. Now, into I1 of S, I2 of S. Right. So now what's the problem now? We are asked to find what is the transfer function I2 of S by V of S. What is I2? I2 is the current through the loop 2. How can you find current through loop 2 now? Using Cramer's rule. What is Cramer's rule? I2 of S is nothing but delta 2 of S divided by delta of S. Okay. What is delta of S? Delta of S means this determinant. This is delta, the determinant of this thing. Okay, R1 plus SL into this thing minus SL into minus SL. That is what is delta. Now, what is delta 2? Delta 2 means second column replaced with the voltage vector. That means R1 plus SL minus SL, then V of S 0. V of S and 0. Okay, so you can find this. So you will get delta 2 as Vs into SL, right? So once you know delta 2, once you know delta, you can find what is your I2 of S. Okay, after finding I2 of S, what we have to find? We have to find the transfer function between I2 of S to V of S. Take the ratio. Okay, so we should get an answer of this thing. Okay, so this will be the transfer function between I of S to V of S. Fine. Let us try one more problem. So this time I will straight away write the matrix form. Okay, you should get habituated to writing the matrix form directly, and that in Laplace domain. Okay, otherwise your time will be consumed. Too much of your time will be wasted. Fine. So let us try that. So this is the network given to you. Okay. So how many loops? 3 loops. So let me mark arbitrarily the loop currents I1, I2, I3. Keep in mind, it is not necessary that always the loop currents must be in clockwise direction. Just arbitrarily only. Okay. And loop current means it is confined to this loop. Okay. It will not come here. It will not split into 2. That is branch current. Okay. This loop current, if I mark I1 like this, it means that current I1 circulates within this particular loop only. Okay, there is no division or branching of currents. That won't work here. Okay, loop current means it is confined to that particular loop only. Okay, so there are three loops are there. That means the impedance matrix will be of the order 3 by 3. Okay, so let us first write the voltage vector. Now, minus to plus potential rise means what? Since it is a potential rise, it will be V of t. So its Laplace transform will be V of S. Okay. Now, loop 2, there are no voltage source 0. Loop 3 also, there are no voltage source. That means 0. Okay. So, must be equal to what? Must be equal to, what is Z11? Z11 means sum of all impedances which are common to I1 only. So, I1 is flowing through 1 and 1 Henry. That means S plus 1. Okay, S plus 1. 1, 2 means common to 1 and 2. It is S. Both currents are in opposite directions. I1 and I2 are in opposite directions. So, minus S. 1, 3, it is 1 ohm. I3 is in opposite direction. I1 is in opposite. They both are opposing. That means minus 1. Okay, coming to loop 2. So, 2, 1 and 1, 2 are same. Right, which is that the impedance common to I1 and I2, that is 1 Henry. So the impedance is S. Okay, S into L, L is 1 Henry, so it is S. Now you see I1 and I2 are opposite directions, so minus S. 2, 2, what are they? S plus 1, that means 2S plus 1. 2, 3, 1 ohm. I1, I2 and I3 are in opposite directions, so minus 1. What will be 3, 1? Same as 1, 3. 3, 2, same as 2, 3. And 3, 3 will be what? 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus S. Okay. So that is our impedance matrix. Fine. That into what? Voltage must be equal to impedance into the current. Right. So that means I1 of S, I2 of S, I3 of S. Okay. What's the question? Question is to find VL of S by V of S. And what is VL of S? VL of S is the voltage across this 1 Henry. So to find the voltage, you need the current. Which current? I2. I2 is the current flowing through the inductance. Okay. So how will you find I2 of S? I2 of S will be delta 2 of S divided by delta. Right? What is delta? Delta is this determinant. Okay, you have to evaluate this determinant. What is delta 2? Delta 2 means second column replaced with, delta 2 will be second column replaced with the voltage vector S plus 1 minus S minus 1. Second column is V of S. Okay, so V of S 0, 0. Then third column remains the same, minus 1, 2 plus S. Okay, this determinant. So if you take the ratio delta 2 by delta, you will get what is the current. Delta 2 by delta will give you what is I2 of S. Okay, now what's the question? Question is to find the ratio of VL of S to I2 of S. VL of S by V of S. Okay, so how will you find VL? What is VL? Current into the impedance. That means I2 of S into S, because L is 1 here. In this case, L is 1. Okay, so V2 of S will be what? I2 of S into S. Okay, so what will be the transfer function? VL of S. So this is VL. VL of S divided by V of S will be what? S into I2 divided by V of S. Okay, and that should turn out to be this value. This must be the transfer function. S square plus 2S plus 1 divided by S square plus 5S plus 2. Okay, so in this way we can save some time. Okay, if you are directly writing in Laplace domain and in matrix form. Fine. Now let us take some mechanical example. So mechanical system, there are basic 3 elements. Like we have inductance, resistance, and capacitance in the electrical network. We have 3 basic elements in mechanical system. What are they? The spring, dashboard or viscous damping, and mass. Okay. So suppose X is the mean displacement of the mass. What is the force relationship? Force must be equal to m into d square x by dt square. Okay, m into d square x by dt square, right? So if you take the Laplace transform, you will get m into s square. Okay, f of t is m into d square x by dt square. Okay, so if you take the Laplace transform and the ratio f of s by x of s will be what? S square m. That is what is shown here. Okay, similarly for a viscous friction represented by this dashboard, what will be the transfer function? This is the force equation. It is proportional to the velocity, or it is proportional to dx by dt. Okay, so when you take the ratio and take the Laplace transform, you will get fv into s. Okay, keep in mind Laplace transform of df by dt is nothing but sf of s, assuming initial conditions are 0. Okay, similarly in a spring, the force is linearly proportional to the displacement, the linear displacement x of t. Okay, and this is q. Okay, so let us try to find solve this problem. Okay, you are given this mechanical system. You have a mass, and the mass is connected to the fixed surface through a spring K and the dashboard Fv. Okay, what is Fv? Is the dashboard constant. K is the spring constant. Okay, so now you see you are applying a force to the mass to the right side. It means what? The spring and the dashboard gets stretched. Okay, so when they get stretched, what happens? There will be a reaction force in the opposite direction. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can draw a free body diagram like this. Okay, f of t is towards the right side. The reaction force to the spring is to the left side, giving k into x of t. Then the reaction force in the dashboard will again be in the left side. Okay, giving the force Fv dx by dt, reaction force. And due to mass, there's the reaction force m d square x by dt square. So we can do it in one go by taking the Laplace transform. We know k into x of t will be kx of s, fv into dx by dt will be s fv x of s, and m d square x by dt square will become m square x of s. Right? So straight away, let us write the force equation. Straight away, let's write the force equation. So f of t will become f of s. Okay. So you can think in another way. Applied force must be equal to sum of the internal forces. Then only it will be in equilibrium. Otherwise, what happens? It will get cut at the spring and dashboard, and it will start moving apart. That's not happening. Why? Because system is in equilibrium. So applied force must be equal to sum of the internal forces. Okay. So f of s is the applied force. So what is the internal force due to mass m? It will be S square m plus what is the force due to the dashpot FV? S FV plus the force due to spring K is K into X of S. Or what is the transfer function? X of S by F of S? It is nothing but 1 upon S square m plus S FV plus K. Okay, that is what is shown here. Okay, 1 upon ms square plus FVS plus K. Is that fine? Yeah, let us try one more example. Okay, so we need to find what's the transfer function between x2 of s by f of s. So here that in the system there are two masses. Okay, what is x1? X1 is the mean displacement of mass m1. What is x2? Mean displacement of mass m2. Fine. So here it is something is shown here with the circular arrow. What does it mean? It means that a friction exists between a viscous friction exists between the mass m1 and the fixed surface, and that friction coefficient is given as FV1. Similarly, between mass m2 and the fixed surface, there is another friction. That is what it means, whose coefficient is FV2. Okay. So now let us write the force equation for each mass in Laplace domain. Okay. So for mass m1. Okay. So for mass m1, what will be the force equation? Applied force. Is there any applied force? Yes, there is an applied force F of t. So it should be F of s. F of s is equal to what? Sum of the internal forces. What's the force due to m1? S square m1 x of s x1 of s. Okay, s square x1 f s square m1 x1 of s. Then due to k1 plus k1 x1 of s plus due to fv1 s fv1 x1 of s s fv1 x1 of s plus that's a dashpot and spring between m1 and m2. What will be the force due to fv3? S fv3 into what? Into x1 of s minus x2 of s. Correct. X1 of s minus x2 of s plus what's the force due to k2? What's the force due to k2? K2 into x1 of s minus x2 of s. Correct. K1 k2 into x1 of s minus x2 of s. X1 of s minus x2 of s. Okay, this is the force equation for mass m1. Now, what about force equation for mass m2? Do we have any applied force? No, there is no external force applied on mass m2. So 0 equal to what? Force due to m2. What will you get? S square m2 x2 of s plus due to k3, it will be k3 into what? X2 of s minus 0 because it is a fixed surface. Okay, x3 into x2 of s. Then between mass m2 and fixed surface plus what will you get? fv2 into s into what? x2 of s minus 0. That means x2 of s plus that's the dashpot between m2 and m1. What will be the force due to that? sfv3 into what? Into x2 of s minus x1 of s. Okay, x2 of s minus x1 of s plus due to spring it will be k2 into x2 of s minus x1 of s. Okay, so now this can be arranged in matrix form. Okay, so force is equal to some matrix into displacement. Okay, so now you see there's applied force here. So let me arrange it in a matrix form. F of s. Then from second equation there is no applied force 0 equal to something into the displacements x1 of s, x2 of s. Correct? Now you club x1 of s terms together from equation 1. What will you get? S square m1 plus what? So this we have marked plus k1, then plus s fv1 plus SFV1. Now this is marked. Then plus SFV3 plus K2. Okay. Now you club x2 of s terms together. What will you get? Minus SFV3 and minus K2. So let me take minus sign common. We'll get minus SFV3 plus K2. Okay, that is for mass 1. Now coming to mass 2. First you group x1 s terms together. What are they? Minus SFV3 and minus K2. That means minus of SFV3 plus K2. Okay, now the remaining x1 terms together. What are they? S square into, so this we have marked, plus K3, this also marked, plus SFV2, this we marked, plus SFV3, and plus K2. Okay, so no need to write, so separate it out and pick it out like this. Okay, we can write in a different way. I'll show you how to write it in one go. Okay. Right. So what you have to do, there are two masses. So you see your matrix will be of the order 2 by 2. Okay. So force is equal to a 2 by 2 matrix into x1 of s, x2 of s. Okay. Now mass m1 does an applied force f of s 0. Okay. Now, so what will be the first element? You sum up all the elements connected to mass m1, including mass m1. Okay. So including mass m1 means s square m1 plus there's a k1 plus there's fv1, so sfv1 plus there's fv3 connected, so sfv3 plus K2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 6 terms are there, including the applied force. Okay, now 1, 2 position will be always negative. Okay, see, 1, 2 position is always negative. It is evident from the differential equation. You can see here. It is always negative. Okay, so between 1, 2 position you write negative of sum of all the things between connecting m1 and m2. That means SFV3 plus K2 minus SFV3 plus K2. This is plus only, okay? Okay, 1, 2, and 2 will be always the same. So I can straight away put minus of SFV3 plus K2. Right? Now, what will be the 2 position? All the elements, including M2. Okay, all the elements connected to M2, including M2. So you will get S square M2 plus K3 plus SFV2 plus SFV3 plus K2. Okay, this is what we wrote here. This is what we wrote here. Okay, it is matching. You see, S square M1 plus K1 plus SFV1 plus SFV3 plus K2 minus SFV3 plus K2 minus SFV3 plus K2 S square M2 plus K3 plus SFV2 plus SFV3 plus K2. Okay, so now what's the question? Question is to find what is the ratio or what is the Laplace transform between what and what? Between x2 of s and f of s. Okay, so how will you find x2 of s? Delta 2 of s divided by delta. What is delta 2? Second column replaced with the force vector. And what is delta? This determinant. This determinant is what is delta. Okay, and what is delta 2? Delta 2 means the second column replaced with the force vector. That means first column will be same and second column instead of this thing will be f of s 0. Okay, that will be delta 2 by that will give you delta 2. So what is x2? Delta 2 divided by delta. So how will you find the transfer function? x2 of s divided by f of s. Simply you have to take the ratio. Okay. So that will give you what is the transfer function. Am I clear? Any doubt? Let's go to the next problem. Find the transfer function v1 of s divided by r of s. Okay. Find the transfer function v1 of s divided by r of s. Okay. So how will we solve this? Again, there are two masses, so it will be a 2 by 2 matrix, right? So mass m1, applied force is r of t, so it becomes r of s. Mass m2, there are no applied force, that means it is 0. Now what will be one position? Sum of all things connected to m1, including m1. So you will get s square m1 plus what are the elements connected? Yes, sorry. It is not s square m1. It is when will you get s square m1? See, for example, f of t is equal to m d square x by dt square. Okay, then Laplace transform will be f of s equals m s square x of s. But what is given here? It is given in terms of velocity. So what will be force? F of t is m. In terms of velocity, it will be dv by dt. Okay, that means f of s will be m s v of s. So you have to be very careful. Okay, between what and what you have to find. Okay, if suppose it was the x1 of s by r of s, then it would have been the normal way, s square m1 plus blah blah blah. Okay, but now the question is between v1 of s to r of s. So you have to be careful. It is not s square m1, it will be s m1 plus friction. Friction force, what is the friction force? F of t is b2 into dx by dt, b into dx by dt. Or in terms of velocity, it becomes b into v. So you get b2 plus b1. Okay, because the force mass, what are the total, all the 4 elements? 1 applied force, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now what will be the 1, 2 position? Negative of all the elements between 1 and 2, and that is fortunately only one element, that is nothing but b1. So minus of b1. Okay, again 2, 1 will be same as 1, 2 minus b1. What will be 2, 2? All elements including m2. So s m2 plus k by s. Okay, because what is the force equation in a spring? F of t is k into x, or in terms of velocity, it will be k into integral v dt. So when you take the Laplace transform, it will be f of s is equal to k into v of s by s. Okay, so that's the change here. You should be careful. So s m2 plus k by s plus what? Plus b1. Okay, into what? Into v1 of s, v2 of s. Okay, into v1 of s, v2 of s. What's the question? To find the transfer function between v1 of s to r of s. So what is v1 of s? Delta 1 of s divided by delta. What is delta? Delta 1 means the first column replaced with the force vector. So you will get this thing, sm2 plus k by s plus b1. Okay, so when you solve this, what will you get? R of s into this. So you will get R of s into what? S square m2 plus b1s plus k divided by s. Okay, this is correct. What is the figure? Yeah. Okay. No. R of s 0. Yeah, right. S square m2 plus k by s plus b1. Okay. So that is delta 1. Now what is delta? Delta you have to sort out and find. Delta will be this into this minus b1 square. Okay. So you divide. So what will be your V1? V1 will be delta 1 of S divided by delta of S. So what will be the transfer function? V1 of S by R of S. You should get a transfer function like this. Okay. So this will be your transfer function between V1 of S to R of S. Fine. M2S square plus B1S plus K whole divided by M1S plus B1 plus B2 into M2S square plus B1S plus K minus B1 square S. This will be the transfer function relating the output velocity, the velocity V1, linear velocity V1 to the input force R of S. Fine. Is that okay? Okay. Now let us try one more thing. So now I will not write any differential equation. In one go, we will try to solve this thing. Okay. So the question is to find x2 of s by f of s. x2 of s divided by f of s, right? So there are two mass. So see, this is a block mass m1 and this is a frame of having a mass m2, 1 kg. Okay, all parameters are 1. Okay. So you know the matrix will be of the order 2 by 2. Okay. So the force equation. Mass m1 does an applied force f of t. Directly you can write f of s. Mass m2, there is no applied force, 0. Must be equal to what? So all entries including m1. So it is 1 kg. That means s square plus, there's a dashpot here, s, 2s, 3s. Okay, s plus s, 3s plus 1, s square plus 3s plus 1. Okay, what will be 1, 2? Common 2, 1 and 2. This is m1 and this is m2. Which are the common? 1 plus s plus s plus s. That means minus of 1 plus 3s. Correct? This is common between 1 and 2, common between 1 and 2, common between 1 and 2, common between 1 and 2. So minus of 3s plus 1. Fine? Minus of 3s plus 1. Okay. So this becomes like this into x1 of s, x2 of s. Okay. Now, what will be 2, 1? Same as 1, 2. That means minus of 1 plus 3s. Okay. Now, what will be 2, 2? 2, 2 means sum of all impedance, sum of all elements connected to M2, including M2. So, s square plus, then what are the elements connected? There is one dashpot here, s plus s plus s plus s, 4s plus 1. Okay. S square plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 4s plus 1. That will be the element entry corresponding to M2. Is at 2, 2 position. Okay, s square plus 4s plus 1. Okay, now what's the question? You have to find x2 of s divided by f of s. So how will you find x2 of s? Delta 2 divided by delta. What is delta of s? This determinant is what is delta. Okay, now what is delta 2? Second column replaced with the force vector. That means s square plus 3s plus 1 minus of 1 plus 3s will be the first column. Second column will be f of s 0. Okay. So you can find what is x2 of s and eventually you will get what is x2 of s divided by f of s. And that should be this value, 3s plus 1 divided by s into s cube plus 7s square plus 5s plus 1. This should be the transfer function relating x2 to f of s. Okay. Now, what we did so far was translational systems, mechanical translational systems. That means the objects moved in a straight line, right? But there can be angular movement as well, in which case we get rotational systems. Okay. So there is not much big difference except for a slight changes. Okay. So spring remains same, but instead of linear displacement x of t, we have angular displacement theta. Okay. Now, and instead of force, we have what is called a torque. Okay. So what will be the torque equation here? Like similar to the force equation, F of t equals K into X of t. Here we have the torque equation, T of t equals K into theta of t, where theta of t is the angular displacement. Okay. So when you take the ratio, T of s by theta of s, what will you get? Constant, spring constant, K. Okay. Now, viscous damper also is more or less the same, right? Suppose the damping constant is a D, right? And here instead of x, we have theta. So in the linear case, we had f of t equals, say, fv into dx by dt. Okay, or it was fv into, say, v of t, linear velocity. But here we have angular velocity omega. So here you will get torque T of t as the damping constant, the dashpot constant d into omega of t, where omega of t is the angular velocity, d theta by dt. Okay. Now instead of mass, here we have more inertia j. Okay. So there, what was the force? Force F was m into d square x by dt square, or m into d by dt of the linear velocity. So here what we have? We have torque as j into d square theta by dt square. Okay, or j into d omega by dt. That's the only difference. Okay, everything else remains the same. So we'll try one question and then we'll stop. So here you are given a rotation system like this, right? We have to find the transfer function theta 2 of s by t of s. This is the input variable. This is the output variable. Okay. So how will you find? What will be the equation here? Right. What will be the equation here? So for inertia j, for inertia j1. Okay. What will be the equation? Straight away, can you tell me in Laplace domain what will you get? That's applied torque. So you will get T of s. So here, what happens? You are given theta 2. That means you have to assume a point mass, a point mass. Okay. So there's no applied torque here. That means 0. Equal to what? So what are the terms correspond to the first entry? It will be theta 2. So right. So it will be s square plus what? Plus 1 plus yes. Is that all? Anything else? Yes, the s square plus s plus 1. Okay, it will be s square plus s plus 1. Right, because this is the common point corresponding to theta 2. Okay, so all the elements connected to including j1. So 1. So that's the applied torque T 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All terms are there. Now, what will be 1 to negative of common elements common to 1 and 2? Which are the elements common to 1 and 2? 1 plus s, so s plus 1. Okay, then it will be same as 2 1 position. What will be 2 2? It will be s plus 1. So it will be plus s plus 1. That means 2s plus 2. Okay, into what? Into theta 1 of s, theta 2 of s. So what is theta 2 of s? Theta 2 of s will be what? Delta 2 of s divided by delta. What is delta 2? Second column replaced with the first with the voltage with the force equation. That means torque equation. T of s 0 divided by delta. So you will get 0 T of s into s plus 1 divided by what will be delta? This into this minus this into this. So s square plus s plus 1 into 2s plus 2 minus s plus 1 whole square. Okay, if you simplify, what will you get? T of s into s plus 1 divided by what? When you expand, you will get 2s cubed plus 2s square plus 2s square plus 2s plus 2s plus 2, correct? 2s cube plus 2s square plus 2s square plus 2s plus 2s plus 2, 2s plus 2 minus, so this is s plus 1 whole square, s square plus 2s plus 1 minus, so minus s square minus 2s minus 1. So what will you get? T of s into s plus 1 divided by 2s cube. So 2s square plus 2s square, 4s square minus s square plus 3s square. Then 2s plus 2s, 4s minus 2s plus 2s plus 2 minus 1. That means plus 1. So this will be theta 2. What's the question? Theta 2 divided by T of s. So theta 2 divided by T of s. Is there anything that did I miss any term here? Oh, you could have taken one s plus 1 term here common. Okay, then that will get cancelled actually. Okay, you just solve for yourself and see what you are getting. So eventually you will get what you should get, this answer, 1 upon 2s square plus s plus 1. That will be your transfer function. So in the next class, so what did we do today? We discussed electrical networks, transfer functions, and mechanical system transfer function. So the next class we will take up an electromechanical system wherein you have a motor driving a mechanical load. So it is a marriage between the electrical system and mechanical system. You have a DC motor running which is driving a mechanical load. So that means it's a combination of electrical and mechanical system, or it will be an electromechanical system. That's what we are going to see in the next class. Okay, thank you.